Okay, so now we're going to talk about actually exporting this image out of Figma so that way you can add it into your ads manager and get this thing up and running as an advertisement. So one thing to note is that whenever you're going to export this, it's a frame, right? So you have a box and then you have a bunch of content inside this box. It's very important that you make sure you click where it says Instagram post whenever you're going to do this export because that'll select everything inside the box. If you don't do that, it's very possible that you could leave something out, and so when you export the image, it'll actually not include text or certain elements that are within that frame. So make sure you click on Instagram posts and that will actually select everything. Just to show you what it looks like, you can click and drag and move it around and just make sure that everything is actually moving with the particular frame itself. And that means that everything that is selected is inside of that frame. So, okay, once it's selected, go to the right-hand side and then you're going to go down to export. You're going to export, you can change it to PNG or JPEG, doesn't really matter, but you can see like the preview and you can also select what kind of image type you want to do. But once you have everything selected, you're just going to click on export and that will export the image and then it'll save it down to your computer.
Okay.
Okay, so now we have the image downloaded and saved. Now we're going to go ahead and open up the Facebook Ads Manager. Okay, so now we're going to actually create your business assets so that way you can actually launch your own ads. Now, what we're going to do, I'm going to give you this resource. This is still relevant today. It might not be relevant in the future, but we'll give you this resource that'll actually walk you through setting up your business manager if you haven't done so before. We're also going to do it kind of live right now, but with limited capabilities because we don't need to create a new business manager because we already have one. So use the link in the description below, and you can use that to get to this page, and it'll actually walk you through step by step. So yeah, we're going to go to business.facebook.com. And once you get to that page, you're going to either log in with your Instagram, your Facebook account, or you can create a new account, totally up to you. If you don't want to have to switch between multiple different accounts every time you log into Facebook, then it's best to use one of the accounts that you already have. So yeah, once we have that done, okay, so the first thing that you need to do is you need to create a business manager account. If you don't already have a business manager account, we're going to go ahead and give you a link to the website or this page that'll actually walk you through how to do it step by step. It's very easy. We've already created a business manager account, so therefore we don't really need to go through this step, but it's super simple. You just either log in or create an account with your email. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go through all of these steps, which are entering your business information or your company name and submitting all this information into Facebook Ads Manager. So after you've done this, then we'll go ahead and proceed to the next step. Okay. Okay, so the next step, we're going to go to the business.facebook.com. You're going to log in. Once you're logged in, you're going to see this section that looks very similar to this. We're actually going to create a page, right? Because you need to have a Facebook page in order to run ads in the Facebook Ads Manager. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now and walk through it step by step. Now, this page, we'd recommend using something similar or relevant to the actual property name. But if you want to do something generic that just says real estate, you could do that as well. So you're going to click on add, click on create Facebook page. You actually use the name, real estate, whatever you want, property, company, whatever it is. And then the category is going to be real estate, or you could do real estate agency or real estate company, whatever you want. Bio, just write something short and simple about you as a company, or if it's about the property, you can write it something about the property. Click on next. I agree. Click on create page. And it says this real estate property page has been created and added to the business portfolio. So now that you know that the page has been created, it's time to go add some photos to that particular page, right?
Yes.
Okay, so now you have the Facebook page created. You're going to go ahead and click on these three dots and you're going to go to view on Facebook. Sometimes this will ask you to switch profiles if you are not already in that profile, and you'll just click on switch. So that way you can kind of enter that page as, the owner of the page. So once you're in there, there's a few things that you want to do. You want to update the profile photo to be something that is either your logo or something about the company, either your logo or something about the, excuse me. So the first thing you want to do is update the profile photo. You can either use your photo, preferably not your face, something like a logo or something relevant to the company itself. If you're doing it for a development, then you'd probably want to use something related to that particular development. Yeah. So then that, and then you would have something as like a cover photo as well. So yeah, we can even use this ad as we want if we wanted to, but for the cover photo, you would just add a cover photo, something that's like a long banner that has something either more about the development, the developer, or something related to your real estate company that you're using to advertise. It should be professional. It should be something that whenever people click on your ad and they end up on this page, that they don't feel like they're getting ripped off or that you're going to kind of scam them out of their money. Also, take a look on this left-hand side column. It says how healthy is your page. You want to write as much information to get this thing up to as high level as possible so that the page health looks well. So there's kind of like a checklist and some information you can add here to help increase that. So just make sure you spend a little bit of time on this page because it does matter. It's probably like a 5 to 10% chance that people will land on this page. And if they do, you want to make sure that, you look legit. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do after we've created the page and got everything squared away is we're going to create the actual ad account. So if you see under accounts here on the left-hand side, there's a section called ad accounts. We're going to click on that. And then if you don't already have an ad account, you're going to click on add and you're going to fill out this information. Create a new ad account and you're going to enter the ad account name. So if it's for a specific development, you might want to keep it specific to that. Whenever you first start off advertising through Facebook and Instagram, they're only going to allow you to get like one ad account, but as you start to spend more, you can have multiple different ad accounts. And this might help you organize different properties, a little bit easier. So it's highly recommended that you name it something specific to the property or the type of campaign you're going to be running. So another thing to note is the time zone. Whatever time zone you set this in, that's going to be the 24-hour window where you can see like your money is being spent for that particular 24-hour window. So if you ran it for UK or if you ran it in, US in like Toronto time zone, then the 24-hour time zone will start and end on that particular time zone. So I would recommend if you're going to, be looking at it from Dubai and you want to know how much you spent for the whole day in Dubai, keep it, specific to the time zone that you're located in. Currency also important. Make sure that you are going to use the same currency as, throughout all the campaigns. I mean, you don't want to have multiple debit cards with multiple different currencies. So if you have like a UK bank and you have, pound that you're using from the UK, it's probably best to set it up as a currency in the pound. And then also understand that most banks in UAE, they charge a percentage of a fee whenever you run transactions, which are US dollars into the dirhams, because they have to do a currency conversion. So just whatever you're using, make sure that your bank aligns with that and that you're not going to get, cheated out on a percent or two over time with, how much you're actually spending. Okay, enough about that. So click on next once you have all this information figured out, and then you'll click on the I agree section and then you click on create ad account. Okay, now it's going to ask you about payment information. This is your credit card or debit card that you're going to have on file that's going to get automatically billed. So make sure that you use whatever you're going to have as like your main source of funds. This is where basically Facebook and Instagram is going to bill you for your ads. Click on add payment info and make sure that everything again is consistent with the currency that you chose before with the ad account itself and what you're actually going to be using with your bank that is local to you. And then click on next. And then you're going to enter in your card details, which we're not going to do in this particular video, but you get the point. Once you have everything entered, it'll automatically add everything, do like a test charge, and then you'll be good to go. Sometimes the banks will have some issue with that. So if Facebook tries to do like a temporary charge, like a temporary block, you might have to call your bank and say that it was authorized by you. Otherwise, they can block that charge and they'll consider it like fraud. So this has happened to me. Probably could happen to you, so just be aware of that. Okay, so once you've added your payment method to the ad account, there's one other thing to just double check. So you see where it says full control and it says one person. You want to make sure that you have full control of the ad account. Sometimes Facebook, for whatever reason, doesn't actually assign you. So if it doesn't, for whatever reason, just click on the assign people section, and then you're going to click on your name, check it on the left-hand side, and then click on manage ad accounts, give yourself full control and click assign. And that'll give you full control of the ad account. Okay, now that we have this done, what we're going to do is we're going to go to data sets. This is basically the way that Facebook tracks and records all the metrics for people that enter on your website. And this is how you're going to be able to improve and actually track whether they submitted the form, how many people landed on the website, and all the data from the actual ad itself. So right now we don't have any. You're going to click on add. And then you're going to name this data set. We'd recommend to name it the same thing as kind of like your ad account. So that way, you know that this data set is tied to that specific ad account. So once you're in the name, just click on create and it'll go ahead and create the data set for you. And again, similar situation, sometimes the data sets don't get assigned to you. So in this situation, you're going to click on assign people and you're going to choose your name on the left-hand side and click on manage events data set, click assign. Okay, great. Now this data set is assigned to you and you need to connect an asset. This is where you're going to add the ad account to the particular data set. So click assign assets, click on your ad account, and then click on add. Okay, great. Now the data set is connected to the ad account, which is great. And this is the majority of the heavy lifting that is needed to be done to be able to track everything. So we're going to go to Open Events Manager. Okay, so next we're going to click on Open Events Manager. And just a little forewarning, while this is opening, you might want to have your page opened up onto. So remember this page, this is where we have all of our sites and the funnels. So you're going to click on your property funnel, the one that you named, and then you're going to go ahead and click on settings. And this is where we're actually going to put in this code that we're about to grab from the other page. So yeah, it's going to be under head tracking code. So go back to the Events Manager tab, and we are going to click on Setup Meta Pixel and install code manually. And then we are going to click on copy code. And then we're going to go back to the other page and paste this in the head tracking code. And it's better to do it at this level because you can be sure that for all the funnels and all the split tests that you create, it's going to be tracking all of the data from Facebook on both pages. So we highly recommend putting it here and then clicking on save. So once you've actually copied the information over and clicked on save, go to the Events Manager, click on continue. And this is where you're going to actually be able to just make sure that everything is firing and that you are tracking everything correctly. So once you have everything kind of set up and you checked all those events to track and all the information you want to track, click on test events, and then you're going to click on confirm whether your website's events are set up correctly, and you're just going to put in the URL for your website. Okay, and just to give you an idea of where you can get that URL, if you're doing a split test, you're going to use this top level URL. Otherwise, you can click on this link and it'll take you to the page itself and you can get the URL there. But yeah, if you're doing a split test, you definitely want to use the top level one. And then paste that into the Events Manager. So you can put in some test dummy information onto the website and click on register your interest. So that way it'll fire the event and send it over to Facebook. And that way Facebook will know whether this information is being tracked or not. So now you can see that all this information was submitted to Facebook and that it is properly tracking everything. And so this is what you want to see. Okay, once everything is tracking correctly and you have the leads getting submitted and the pixel is understanding that that information is being sent from the website, the next thing for us to do is to create the actual advertisement.